Brulard, and I am bringing you Yoga at Home. This is my first adult video to do since the start of the craziness of this world, and I've just been kind of coasting through it, barely surviving. My kids have been doing the best that they can. I'm sure some of you have probably watched our kid videos. We're hanging in there, but I really wanted to bring something restful, something that's gonna make you move, but also feel like a respite from where we are. So to start, I want to read a prayer. It's from this book, Every Moment Holy. You may have heard of it. It's a little long, so I want you to find a place that's comfortable for you. We're going to be laying down to start. So you could come into Shavasana, so on your back, palms up, close your eyes. Or you can come into simple seated and close your eyes. Just feel your breath going in and out. Or if you want to come into child's pose, you're welcome to do that too. But just breathe. I'm going to read this to get us started. In a world so wired and interconnected, our anxious hearts are pummeled by an endless barrage of troubling news. We are daily aware of more grief, O Lord, than we can rightly consider, of more suffering and scandal than we can respond to, of more hostility, hatred, horror, and injustice that we can engage with compassion. But you, O Jesus, are not disquieted by such news of cruelty and terror and war. You are neither anxious nor overwhelmed. You carried the full weight of the suffering of a broken world when you hung upon the cross, and you carry it still. When the universal distresses unsettle us, remind us that we are but small and finite creatures, never designed to carry the vast abstractions of great burdens. For our arms are too short and our strength is too small. Justice and mercy, healing and redemption are your great labors. And yes, it is your good pleasure to accomplish such works through your people, but you have never asked any one of us to undertake more than your grace will enable us to fulfill. Guard us then from shutting down our empathy or walling off our hearts because of the glut of unactionable misery that floods our awareness. You have many children in many places around this globe. Move each of our hearts to compassionately respond to those needs that intersect our actual lives, that in all places your body might be actively addressing the pain and brokenness of this world. Each of us liberated, empowered by your Spirit to fulfill the small part of your redemptive work assigned to us. Give us discernment in the face of troubling news reports. Give us discernment to know when to pray, when to speak out, when to act, and when to simply shut off our screens and our devices and to sit quietly in your presence. Casting the burdens of this world upon the shoulders of the one who alone is able to bear them up. Amen. Just take a couple more breaths in. Close your eyes. Let those words enter in whatever way they need to today for you. And I apologize for my screen, but now that I have children at home and I'm printing off 1 million worksheets, I have run out of ink and paper. So anyway, I'm just going to do it off. I like to write out my flows, and so I'm going to do it off the screen today. Don't worry, I'm not looking at news reports, but I want to encourage you. We're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to go through a flow. We'll do a balance, and then we'll finish off with a little bit of a cool down. But take it in sections if you'd like. If you've never done this before, just do the warm-up. Maybe do the warm-up for your morning routine or evening routine. Or if you are inspired and want to do it all, then do it all. But I just want to encourage you can mix and match this as however you would like. So let's start off on our backs. We're actually going to start, also I have a dog that is like right out of screen, and so if you happen to see her, that is what that is. Bring your hands down, palms up, and then slowly, with intention, start to raise your legs up into legs up a wall. Once you get your legs into that ceiling position, so your feet are like they're standing on the ceiling, I want you to flex your feet, bring your toes together, heels slightly apart, pull your shoulders down into the mat. Pull your hips down into the mat. Straight legs as best you can. Bend them just slightly if you need to. That's a modification. If it's too much, just bend them. Breathe here. Then take those knees, bring them in, tuck them in, and come in nice and tight. Breathe in and out. Then extend your left leg out, right leg stays tucked in, and really squeeze it in. Then take this knee and you're going to slowly pull it out to the side. Just a little bit. You're not going all the way out, just a little. And then bring it back into center, tuck it in. And then see if you can pull it just slightly over. You might have to unbend a little bit to get it over. Bring it back to center and bring your left leg to meet the right. And then extend your right leg out. Keep that left leg tucked in. Breathe here. Take that knee, extend it to the side, out, just a little bit. And then bring it, tuck it in, and bring it across your body. Good. Let your body feel the slow movements. Maybe this is slowing down for you right now. Your brain just let go of everything you're thinking about in your day. Tuck your knees in one last time, and then take your feet and plant them, keeping the knees bent, kind of walking them in as best you can. We're going to do one just long bridge. So take your shoulders, pull them down and back, and then raise the hips up and come into bridge. So in this bridge, I want you to focus on taking your gaze kind of back to really keep that neck nice and open. Press your hands against the mat. Press your shoulders into the mat and press your feet. We sometimes like to use our glutes only. Really use all parts of your body. And breathe. You can do it. Keep it up. And lower down. Nice. Take those knees, tuck them in, bring your hands underneath your knees this time, and slowly just roll your body up. You might use it to massage that back, and then come all the way around into a tabletop position. Good. So here in this tabletop position, I just want you to move around, kind of free flow, wag your tail, move your shoulders, make some circles. Good. All right, now we're going to do just a couple cat-cows. So you're going to turn your tailbone up, sink the belly down, lift it. And then come into cat. Cow. Make sure to move with your breath. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then take your right leg and send it out. Songbird. Hold here, breathe. And then I want you to take your left hand out to the side, right leg out to the right. Lift your hand up and then just thread that shoulder down underneath. Then unwind and bring your right hand forward, left foot back. Oh. Breathe here. Then take that right hand out to the side, left foot out in front, or out to the side, out to the left. Then bring it down, lift your hand up as high as it can go, and then twist your body, bring that shoulder down, and let it relax. Then unwind and come back into your tabletop position. Take your feet out wide, I'll turn this way so you can kind of see. Take your knees out wide, toes touching. We're gonna sit back into a child's pose. Let the forehead rest, and you're gonna walk your hands over to the left side. Then walk your hands over all the way to the right side. And then come back to center and come into that child's pose. So just rest here for a moment, take a couple breaths, maybe even pause the video, and you can redo it again if you want, that little warm up. We're about to head into our first flow. All right, when you're ready, come from that child's pose and come back into kind of a tabletop. Turn those toes down and you're gonna come into down dog. We're gonna hold this down dog for 5 breaths. So in our down dog, we want our hips high, our heels pressing towards the mat, our shoulders open, and breathing nice and easy. And you might pedal your legs or sway your hips a little bit. Two more breaths here. And then take your right leg, lift it high, 3-legged dog. Just lift, 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 and then sweep it underneath. Let it come right alongside your hands. Lay the back foot, and we're gonna raise up warrior 1. Good. So get nice and deep in this warrior 1. 3 breaths here in your warrior 1. Take your hands behind your back. Let them pull your shoulders back. Maybe even gaze back for just a moment. And then start to bring your whole top body forward, coming into humble warrior. 3 breaths here. Release the hands, come back up, warrior 1, open up, warrior 2. Good. So warrior 2, we're in open hips, gazes forward over that hand. Lift those arms up, and then bring that hand down and come into extended side angle. Raise up, warrior two. Reverse. And then come back to warrior two. Come into a straight leg. Turn your feet forward, coming a little bit angled out, and sit down into a goddess pose. Good. So make sure we keep those hips down. Oh, I'm gonna fall over. And hold that goddess. Sorry. Make sure. Yeah. Hold, hold, hold. And then sweep your arms forward, come into a crescent position. So this time, different than our warrior, our heel is up. We're nice and tall, hips are forward. Nice crescent position. And then sweep your arms down. We're gonna vinyasa through. So we're gonna step our foot back, high plank to low plank, up dog, and down dog. Now we're gonna repeat on the other leg. So left leg, kick it high. Sweep it all the way through to your hands. Blade the back foot, rise up, warrior one. Get nice and deep in your warrior one, hold for 3 breaths. Open up, warrior two. Sorry, wrong. Warrior one, come into, pull your hands behind. We're gonna do our humble warrior first. And fold over. Good. Release the hands, rise up, warrior one to warrior two. Take that front hand, bring it down into extended side angle. Again, extended side angle can be up here, if that is kind of the better position for you, or you can bring it all the way down. Raise up, warrior two, and reverse. Warrior two, and now we're going to turn, and I'll turn forward so y'all can see. We're gonna come into that goddess position. This time, rather than holding, we're going to breathe and almost create a little ballet. We're gonna breathe in, come up nice and tall, star. Breathe out, sit down deep into the goddess. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Now turn your, to where you're over your left foot and come up into your crescent. Good, nice and low. And melt down. Step it back. Lower down. Up dog. And down dog. So normally, on my videos I haven't repeated these, but I am going to repeat it for us today so that way you don't have to pause and remember it all, and we'll just speed it up. If you don't want to do it a second time, if you're like, whew, that's it, then you don't need to. But if you want to kind of create a little more of a cardio, then join me. So we'll start with a vinyasa flow since we're starting from standing. So come up nice and tall, breathe in, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, vinyasa. Down dog. Right leg, kick it high. Sweep it forward. Raise up, warrior one. So we're not keeping our breath this time. We're just going to go straight into the next position. Humble warrior. Release the hands, come back up, warrior one. Warrior two. Extended side ankle. Warrior two. Reverse. Warrior two. Come into your goddess. We'll come up and down. Just 2 times. Up and down. Sweep forward, come into that crescent, nice and low. See how low you can get. And then melt the hands down. Step it back. Chaturanga. Down dog. Left leg, take it high. Sweep it through. Warrior one. Bring the hands behind. Humble warrior. Sweep the arms up and forward. Warrior one to warrior two. Extended side angle. Warrior two. Reverse. And come into your goddess. Down and up. Down and up. And sweep forward into your crescent. Sorry, y'all had to see my backside. And melt down. Step back. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Bend your knees, step or float to your hands. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. And rise up. Great job. All right, so we're gonna do a little balance flow. I always think a balance flow is so good because, well, especially right now, life is a little out of balance in case you didn't realize, or maybe it's getting back into balance, I'm not sure. But I think sometimes balance physically helps us to, reminds us, balance spiritually, balance mentally. And so I think it's really good for us to remember to do that physical balance. So we're gonna start standing and we're gonna do a little tree to dancer flow. Really simple, just we're gonna keep it nice and easy today. So first we're gonna take our foot, if you've watched my kid videos, you can start and just stay here. This is, actually, like I can already feel my body trying to balance. Especially if you're on a rug like I am, or carpet, your ankle muscles are not going to be nearly as steady. So give yourself some grace. It's okay. And then if you want, see if you can creep it up a little bit along your calf. And then see without using your hands how far you could bring it up. Breathe. Find a gaze point. Stay focused. And then, if you want, you can take that hand and see if you can tuck that leg in, or foot in even deeper. Find that good spot. Good. Now take your hands up over, coming into branches. Breathe. Maybe sway the branches a little bit. See if you can test that balance. And then take your elbows, bend them, and pull the shoulders back, coming into cactus arms. Maybe take your gaze up if you can. Good. Now take this knee, bring it forward, and come into straight leg forward. Good. And then lastly, we're going to sweep that leg back and come into our warrior three pose. So if warrior three is too much, bring your hands to prayer center and come up out of it a little bit. Ooh. Good. If you want to add in a standing split, you can bring your hands down and lift that leg as high as you can, and then bring it down and come back up into mountain. Hands down. Good. Man, I'm doing some heavy breathing today. All right, let's do the other side. So find that balance pose, shift weight into that right leg, and then start to creep that left leg up. Breathe. hand if you want and find that deepest part for your tree pose. Good. Take your arms up overhead. Find that gaze point, stay strong. Maybe sway. And if you fall out, no big deal, means you hit your edge. Take the elbows, bend them, open up. Maybe take your gaze up if you can. The gaze change is hard. That is the biggest balance challenge. So if you can't do it, don't freak out. Good. Now take your arms down, sweep that knee forward, kick the leg out. Breathe here. Then take that leg, sweep it back, sweep your arms forward, warrior 3. And if you want to finish off with a little standing split, take those hands down, lift that leg up high. Bring the leg down, fold, and rise up, mountain. Good. All right, let's cool it down. Well done, awesome. All right, so we are going to, let me turn to the side again so y'all can kind of see. So we're gonna start up at the top of our mat. We're gonna take a nice breath in, and we're gonna fold over. Plant the hands and step the feet back into a plank. You can hold this plank. And then take your right leg, and I want you to tuck it in, really tuck it in, so floating underneath, and then bring it to the outside of your right hand. Can y'all see that? So on the outside of my right hand, in a lunge. Now you might have to move around a little bit with your knee, loosen it up. Where we're headed is into a lizard position. So you can walk your hands down and come into lizard. You can bring the knee down if that is what you'd like to do. If you want to add intensity, you keep the leg up. Good. Then slowly, and stay here as long as you want, maybe pause me, and come up back high, and you're gonna walk this right foot over to the left hand, and you're gonna bring the right knee down to the right hand. We're coming into half pigeon. So this is a really good hip opener. This is really good to do in front of a TV for a long period of time, if you have that ability. But we're just gonna simply come down and bring our forehead down to the mat. Breathe here. This tends to be a position that if you haven't done it a lot, we fight. Our muscles fight us, and we want to fight to get out of it. It's a restful position, but it's a tense one. I feel like that's very similar to our situation right now. We are being forced to rest, but there's this tension in it that is hard. We're forced to let go of the things that we're used to, but we are sitting with something that is uncomfortable. And I want to encourage us to not fight it, but to try to breathe through it, to try to lean on our God through it. So breathe in, breathe out into those positions. And slowly walk your hands up, and you might, this might be plenty for you, but if you want to add a little more, you can take that back knee and bend it and grab with your left hand. is, your hip might feel a little, like shocked after that. So don't be afraid to move it around a little bit. Take your time. Now you're in a down dog. I want you to step your feet forward and come into a forward fold. We're just gonna take our hands and grab opposite elbows and just hang for a second. Breathe here. Plant the hands, step the feet back, come into that plank position. Hold the plank. Take your left leg this time, tuck it underneath, get it nice and tight, and then see if you can bring it to the outside of that left leg. Okay, and remember you might move around a little bit. So it's okay for this knee to come out. It doesn't need to drive in. But when you head down into your lizard, I don't want this foot to be on its edge. So if you can't get down there, just come up a little bit. Maybe find a block that you can put your arms on. Breathe here. Now slowly raise up. Take that foot, walk it over to the right. Take the knee, bring it down to the left. Come up nice and tall, take a breath. And fold over. I'm going to read again just a portion of that prayer. In a world so wired and interconnected, our anxious hearts are pummeled by an endless barrage of troubling news. We are daily aware of more grief, O Lord, than we can rightly consider, of more suffering and scandal than we can respond to, of more hostility, hatred, horror, and injustice that we can engage with compassion. But you, O Jesus, are not disquieted by such news of cruelty and terror and war. You are neither anxious nor overwhelmed. You carried the full weight of the suffering of a broken world when you hung upon the cross, and you carry it still. Slowly walk your hands up, or pause me and stay a little bit longer. Take that back leg, bend it, and pull it towards you. Release. Plant those hands, bring that foot back, come into that down dog. And then slowly bend those knees and come into child's pose. So we're going to finish in child's pose today. And I'm going to give you one additional option. So modern child's pose is feet wide, arms out, forehead down. Traditional child's pose is all together and you kind of curl over and you bring your hands back. Or my personal favorite for kind of finishing a practice is, I don't even know what it's called, but it's a twist on the modern child's pose. So your legs are wide, and that's actually one funny thing with my kids. I keep doing positions. They're like, "Well, what is this one called?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't keep up with the names, so we make up a lot of names." But you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna bring them. I'm trying to think of the best way to show you. You'll bring them here on to the bottoms of your feet. And then you will want to choose a cheek. I mean, you could do your forehead, but I think it's a little too intense. So you'll bring your shoulders down and pick a cheek. It might be too much for your neck. If you have neck issues, this might not be a comfortable position. But you also can just alternate between the two sides just if your neck gets stiff. But stay here, breathe. And let me just read Psalm 29, 3 and 4. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord over many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. Let us listen for that voice. Find the voice of the Lord, because it is He who comforts us. I hope this has been a good yoga flow for you. I hope to bring you more in the coming days and weeks. So be on the lookout. And if you have any requests of types of flows, more restorative, something before bed, or whenever you're able to sneak it in, maybe a shorter one for getting it in with the kids, just let me know. I'm happy to try new and different things. I got a lot of time on my hands. Well, not a lot. I've got 3 kids running around me, but we're all here, so we can find ways to create more videos. So thank y'all, and have a wonderful day.